There are capitals built on power, and there are capitals built on quiet strength. Ottawa belongs to the second kind. At dawn, when the mist rises from the Ottawa River and soft light touches the stone towers of Parliament, the city feels almost suspended in time. This is not a place of chaos or spectacle. It is a place of memory, diplomacy, and endurance. A city that listens before it speaks. A city that has learned how to hold a nation together across distance, language, and history. Long before Ottawa was the capital of Canada, it was something far older and far more important. For thousands of years, Indigenous peoples, especially the Algonquin Anishinaabe, lived along these riverbanks. The river was a highway, a source of life, and a sacred connection between communities. Long before borders existed, Ottawa was already a meeting place. When Europeans arrived in the early 1800s, they did not choose Ottawa for its beauty. They chose it for its position. Located far from the American border and surrounded by forests, it was seen as a strategic and defensible place for a capital. At the time, Canada was still fragile, divided between English and French identities, and fearful of invasion. In 1857, Queen Victoria made a decision that would change the country forever. She selected Ottawa as the capital of Canada. At the time, it was a rough lumber town, filled with sawmills, muddy streets, and workers who cut timber from endless forests. No one could have imagined it would become the political heart of a nation. But Ottawa began to transform. The Rideau Canal, built by British engineers, connected the Ottawa River to Lake Ontario. It was originally designed for military defense, but it became an artery of commerce and communication. Slowly, Ottawa grew more organized. Stone buildings replaced wooden shacks. Government offices replaced logging camps. And at the center of it all rose Parliament Hill. Its Gothic towers and copper roofs were designed not just to impress, but to symbolize stability. Here, laws would be made, voices would be heard, conflicts would be debated, not fought. Ottawa became a stage for democracy, not loud but deliberate. Yet beneath the calm exterior, Ottawa has always carried complexity. Canada is a nation of vast distances, many cultures, and deep historical tensions. English and French identities have long existed in uneasy balance. Indigenous peoples have fought for recognition, rights, and justice. Immigration has reshaped the country again and again. Ottawa has had to be the place where all of these stories meet. And that is what makes Ottawa unique. It is not just a capital. It is a conversation. Every policy debated here affects millions across a massive land. Every decision echoes far beyond these quiet streets. Ottawa's power is not dramatic, it is enduring. During times of war, Ottawa coordinated Canada's defense and sacrifice. During times of peace, it guided health care, education, and social systems that would define Canadian identity. It became the engine behind one of the world's most stable democracies. But Ottawa is more than government. It is a city of museums, libraries, and public spaces, a place where history is preserved, not hidden, where citizens can walk through the stories of their nation, where winter freezes the Rideau Canal into the world's longest skating rink, turning infrastructure into celebration. Ottawa lives at the intersection of past and future. And as the world grows more uncertain, the role of this quiet capital has never been more important. In the next part of our journey, we will explore how Ottawa evolved into a modern, multicultural city, and how it balances tradition, technology, and the voices of a changing Canada. As the 20th century unfolded, Ottawa began to change in ways few could have predicted. What had once been a government town dominated by civil servants and parliamentary buildings slowly became something broader, deeper, and more complex. The capital of Canada was no longer just where laws were written. It was becoming a reflection of the nation itself. Wars shaped Ottawa profoundly. During both World War I and World War II, the city became a nerve center of national mobilization. Decisions made in its offices sent soldiers overseas and factories into motion. Memorials rose across the city, honoring those who never returned. The National War Memorial, standing near Parliament Hill, became a silent reminder that peace is never guaranteed. It is built through sacrifice. After the wars, Canada entered a period of growth, and Ottawa expanded with it. Suburbs spread outward. Universities grew. Research institutions took root. The federal government invested heavily in science, communication, and infrastructure. Ottawa became a hub not just of politics, but of innovation. One of the most transformative changes came through immigration. As Canada opened its doors to people from around the world, Ottawa began to reflect that diversity. Families arrived from Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, bringing languages, cuisines, and traditions that reshaped neighborhoods. The city became more colorful, more dynamic, and more global. Yet even as Ottawa modernized, it remained deeply aware of its past. French and English identities continued to shape public life. Street signs appeared in two languages. Schools reflected dual traditions. The city became a symbol of Canada's commitment to bilingualism and compromise, not always easy, but essential to national unity. At the same time, Indigenous voices grew stronger. Algonquin communities, whose land Ottawa was built upon, pushed for recognition and rights. Cultural centers, art, and activism brought long-silenced stories into the heart of the capital. Ottawa began to confront the reality that reconciliation was not just a word, it was a responsibility. The city also embraced its natural setting. Parks, rivers, and green spaces were preserved even as development continued. The Gatineau Hills offered wilderness just minutes from downtown. The Rideau Canal, once a military route, became a place for festivals, skating, and community life. Ottawa was proving something rare, that a capital city could be both powerful and peaceful. In the digital age, Ottawa took on a new role. Tech companies and research centers joined government institutions, turning the city into one of Canada's most important innovation hubs. Cybersecurity, telecommunications, and artificial intelligence became part of its identity. The quiet capital was becoming quietly futuristic. And yet, Ottawa never lost its sense of balance. While other capitals chased spectacle, Ottawa chose stability. While some cities grew chaotic, Ottawa stayed measured. It remained a place where conversations mattered more than noise, where policies were shaped by dialogue rather than force. This is what makes Ottawa unique in the modern world. It is not a city of extremes, it is a city of continuity. In the final part of our journey, we will reflect on what Ottawa truly represents, not just to Canada, but to the idea of democracy, cooperation, and a shared future. As evening settles over Ottawa, the lights of Parliament Hill reflect softly across the river. The city grows quiet, but its meaning does not fade. This is a place where decisions shape millions of lives, yet it never forgets the human scale behind every law and every vote. Ottawa has never been about spectacle. Its strength lies in patience, in listening, in the belief that dialogue is more powerful than division. While the world often moves toward noise and conflict, Ottawa stands as a reminder that compromise, though slow, can be transformative. This city carries the weight of a vast and diverse nation, from the Arctic tundra to the Atlantic coast, from prairie farms to Pacific forests. It holds the responsibility of balancing cultures, languages, histories, and futures. And it does so not through force, but through conversation. Ottawa's streets tell this story quietly. Museums preserve memory. Monuments honor sacrifice. Universities prepare new generations. Indigenous voices rise alongside immigrant communities, shaping a Canada that continues to evolve. What makes Ottawa remarkable is not what it shouts, but what it sustains. In a world of constant change, Ottawa offers continuity. In a time of polarization, it offers cooperation. In an era of uncertainty, it offers the steady idea that nations are built not just on power, but on trust. As our journey comes to an end, Ottawa remains calm, thoughtful, and essential, a capital not defined by grandeur, but by responsibility. If this story gave you a new perspective on Canada and its heart, take a moment to support it. Like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more cinematic journeys through the places that shape our world. Because some cities do not seek attention, they earn respect. Canada,